Well, hello everyone, and welcome to a very, very special kitchen table. You probably know I've not been in the UK for a little while. We were at Rally Germany, weren't we? And I came straight from Rally Germany to here, to tropical North Queensland. And I have to say a very big thank you to the guys at Sunlover Reef Cruises for hosting us today. It's a special place here out on the Great Barrier Reef. But let's talk rally. Let's talk Rally Germany. What do we learn from Rally Germany? Well, I think the number one thing that we learned from Rally Germany is that Ott Tänak is on fire. Is he unbeatable right now? Do you know what? I think he just about is. That's not to say that he will win every rally between now and the end of the year, because clearly there are many other factors that come into it. One of which, up until, well, a rally or two ago, was probably reliability. But it does look as if the guys at Toyota have sorted out those niggling problems that we saw them having at the start of the year that cost Tänak maybe a couple, maybe even 3 wins at the start of the year. The car in Germany was supreme. It really was. Tänak, did we expect him to be so fast? Yeah, we probably did. We probably did expect him to be that quick. Chris Meek, Jari-Matti Latvala, on the other hand, well, they for me were the revelations of the event. You know what, Meek in particular, Meek was under, I think it's fair to say, enormous pressure in Germany. He had a proper roasting from the team boss after defying orders. Yeah, that's maybe a little bit strong in Finland. You know, Chris Meek is a racer. Chris Meek wants to win, and he knew that he could win in Finland, but maybe that's not what the team wanted. And, you know, he was pushing hard to keep up with Tänak. He made the mistake. He put massive amounts of pressure on himself with that mistake. And in the form that he showed in Germany was, I think, a true measure of the man. He reined it in. He found some discipline, and he did not just what the team needed. He did what Ott Tänak needed. You know, he got himself between Tänak in front and Ogier and Neuville behind. It was a really strong performance. Equally as strong was Latvala's performance. 2 podiums in a row for Jari-Matti Latvala. You know, I haven't had a look back at the records, but I think it's a long time since. Oh, hang on, watch this, guys. I've got this. That's Benny Boy, our cameraman. Watch this. Look at these things. Look at these wonderful fish. You know, how authentic an experience is this? There's a monster down there, and I genuinely mean a monster. I think it's a groper. Is that right, Benny? It is a groper. If he turns up, we'll try and get a shot of him. But we'll talk about Latvala. 2 podiums in a row for Latvala. Both Meek and Latvala coming into form at exactly the right time. For Tänak in the Drivers' Championship, more importantly perhaps, because Tänak, to be totally honest with you, doesn't need a lot of help. But Tänak in the Drivers' Championship, more importantly, Toyota in the Manufacturers' Championship. It was a wonderful result because, you know, Toyota had a great weekend. Hyundai, on the other hand, let's talk about them before we go back to Tänak, because we'll come back to Tänak, because there's a lot of speculation about Tänak. There was a lot going on in the service park behind the scenes this weekend regarding Tänak. But let's talk a little bit about Hyundai. Little bit of a disappointing weekend. Remember, Neuville's won the event before. Sordo's won the event before. Sordo had problems. Neuville had, well, he had an unfortunate puncture, didn't he? Was it a puncture he had? Can't remember, but it dropped him back from, no, he had a small off, didn't he? When he was pushing really hard and really showing the same sort of pace as Ott Tänak. And I think that's the encouraging thing for Neuville. Yes, it wasn't the result he wanted, but the performance from Neuville and the Hyundai that he was driving was strong. Sordo showed, until he had his issues, that he could be strong, clearly, on tarmac. And to be fair to Andreas Mikkelsen, he did a job. You know, he knew he was going to struggle. What did he do? He settled in and he made sure he didn't do anything silly and make any silly mistakes. But from a decent lead in the manufacturers, Hyundai are now under a little bit of pressure. And they're under, if you look at the next couple of rallies, which are rallies that Tänak has done well in the past, they could come under increasing pressure over the next couple of rallies. And it's the response to that pressure that's going to be interesting. We know what Neuville's going to do, flat out. He still thinks he can win the Drivers' Championship, and of course he can win the Drivers' Championship. Your rallying is like that. It's easy to have a 25, 30-point swing over one event. But the Manufacturers' Championship is the more likely prize for Hyundai at the end of the year. And to claim that, it needs to be a huge team effort. They have to cut out the reliability issues. They have to have, as we've seen, their second and third drivers performing and contributing, and they have done. You know, Andrea Adamo has a very particular style, he has a very particular approach, he works in a particular way with his drivers, which appears to get the best out of them. Well, he's going to have to get the best out of them in the remaining rallies. Breen might well feature. For sure, Mikkelsen has to start featuring in the top 4 or 5. Sordo in the events he's got left. Well, you might argue Sordo could be charged with pushing for wins, particularly in Spain. Great starting position on the gravel, loves the tarmac. Can he win in Spain? He might have to win in Spain to put Hyundai right back in with a shout. A couple other things we can talk about that were from Germany before we start talking again about Tanak. From Germany, a couple of notable performances. Katsuta-san again in the Toyota inside the top 10, his debut in a World Rally car. Really encouraging. You know, he's never going to be a world champion, I don't think, Katsuta-san, and that's not being disrespectful at all. But he is a driver who potentially could do what Toshe Arai did for the World Championship in Japan. Compete at a very, very strong level indeed. And, you know, you never know. In the future, particularly on rallies that he knows, Rally Japan, his home event, he might well be one to contend the odd podium. I thought it was a strong performance from him. I also thought that Gus Greensmith had a very decent performance again. Yes, he did have that problem, made that mistake, but the times were good and encouraging for Greensmith. He gets a lot of flack, Gus, and I think it's undeserved. I think there's true potential in Gus Greensmith. Hang on, we've got some beasts. Look at them. Look at them. They think I'm feeding them, but I'm not. That's teasing them. That's called teasing the fish. Very naughty. Very naughty. Chuck some food in. Who's got the food? Here we go. We got some food here. How good is this? How good is this? And look at all these people out here snorkeling. Snorkeling, watching out for the biggies. No sharks, thank goodness. Oh my word, what was that? What was that? Oh my words. There's some biggies there. Right, so a couple of good performances from those boys. Let's talk about really the speculation that is getting everyone excited. Where is Ott Tanak going to go at the end of this year? Well, do you know what? It looked like a nailed-on certainty that he would stay at Toyota, and why not? Massive budget, great car, fastest car, most dynamic team in the championship. Why not stay there? Well, it's not all about that at times. It's about drivers feeling comfortable and feeling that they're comfortable in the environment in which they're working. We know he's talking to Hyundai. We saw him with his... Well, no, we didn't see Tanak in Hyundai. We saw Marco Martin in Hyundai. What we did see in Germany was Tanak and Marco Martin in M Sport. Malcolm Wilson said something very, very interesting. He said, we're not in a position yet to make any announcement. To me, that suggests it's serious. It's really, really serious, the discussions between M Sport and Tanak. It will require, make no mistake about this, it will require more commitment, financial commitment from Ford. But I think more than that, it will require technological commitment. Ford will have to commit to developing that car and maintaining the performance of that car. And that could be the crux in terms of Tanak signing for Ford. It's really exciting times because then we think, well, what might happen in other areas? Danny Sordo, you know, Tommy Mäkinen has said he's interested in Sordo. What happens with Craig Breen? Does Hayden Paddon have a home for next year? That is possible. Mikkelsen, well, he's coming good, isn't he? Well, we hope he's coming good. Really, we're getting to an interesting point in the season, but it will all depend. Whatever happens in the drivers' market will depend on what Tanak ultimately chooses to do. For sure, his value is sky high. It is right up there just now. Everyone wants him. Now, we'll wait and see. There'll be more news soon. But we'll finish by talking about why I am here. What a week we have had at Targa Great Barrier Reef. Do you know what? It's a different sort of rallying, but there were 240 cars took to the stages here around Cairns. Some unbelievable roads, some of the most iconic roads in Australia. Beautiful driver roads, some amazing cars. A Dodge Viper won. We had Lotuses, we had Porsches, we had McLarens, we had beautiful Mustangs, we had a 1961 Saab. and we had some magnificent people. And we had this, you know, we had tropical North Queensland. What a place it is. It has been a great week up here. I'm not coming home yet, guys, but I will be home for Rally Turkey. Once again, a big thanks to all the guys at Sunlover Reef Cruises for hosting us here. They have been magnificent. Thank you again for joining us. Don't forget, guys, Facebook, share, please share. There are some lovely shots here. If you're watching on YouTube, like it, that would be lovely too. Share on Facebook, like on YouTube, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Guys, thank you very much for joining me at my slightly watery but unbelievably beautiful kitchen table.